Okay, folks, impromptu Saturday live stream. I figured that, hey, it was a good week for Beyond the Gates. For one, all my episode reviews were up on time. And two, this was really an episode of just secrets coming out. And it's a question of who was in the right and who was in the wrong. I mean, we can understand why, like Martin didn't tell Smitty, or why, Nicole's parents didn't tell her. But given the fallout of, like, Smitty and Martin and Nicole and her parents, and we know it's going to lead into next week with her confronting Bill, confronting Ted. It's a question of like who was right, who was wrong. And I saw a lot of great comments on my Friday or yesterday's episode review. The comment section has some great back and forth. Those who, I think most people either agree or feel Nicole's anger is justified. But then the reason I'm doing this live stream is because I saw some very well thought out comments from people feeling that Nicole is only lashing out because her family isn't living up to the illusion that she had of them being like picture perfect and whatnot. And after watching what happened with her and Anita yesterday, all I could think about was that one bit of dialogue that Ted gave her. I want to say this is when Ted was over at well, I'll just call it Nicole's house since he got kicked out. And before he left, because if I remember correctly, he was going over there to tell Nicole about what went down 2 years ago. But Nicole jumped to the conclusion that he was over there to talk about the Andre and Danny thing, but that wasn't it at all. And before he left, Ted something to the effect of, if you keep projecting this perspective of yours that everyone around you is picture perfect, and when you start to see their cracks, their faults, their lies, if you keep pushing people away, you're going to wind up alone. And I kind of feel like we're going down that route. A lot of people, some people were like, yo, this was like new Ted's best scene. Other people felt like Ted, he got some nerve saying that, considering, his secrets were, were the thing that got this ball rolling in the first place. It was one of those situations of, it was the right message, but maybe not from the right person, considering, he betrayed her all those years ago. And I saw, I think it was Ashley. She posted, I'm calling them by their character names. Ashley posted a story on Instagram yesterday, and in the dressing room, it was like back and forth between the cast, where you got like the guys siding with Ted, and then the women, siding with Nicole in terms of if she has a right to be upset given the affair from decades ago. Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to Nicole, yeah, it is weird. And I posted this comment in response to that person talking about her having this false narrative of how her family is. And now that she's seeing them for who they truly are, she's going to isolate herself possibly. I look at it from this perspective. I think Nicole is upset with Ted, with her parents. I don't think she's really mad at Martin, because I don't think she looks at Martin as someone that betrayed her. It's more like, my parents went behind my back and told them to keep it on the DL, and my child was hurting for the. And I think some people forget, and I did see a comment that pointed this out. There are those who are like, y'all are getting on Nicole like this was something that happened decades ago. This was just 2 years ago. And Martin went to his mother to confide in her, not about everything, but the fact that they're nightmares and whatnot, and he feels himself losing his mind. So here's how I look at Nicole's outburst. Whenever she finds out about like Ted's affair, her mom and dad with the cover up, Ted not saying anything about it at all, including the plastic surgery for that one dude. I feel like, for one, she feels betrayed because she was left in the dark about all this. That's one. Two, she's upset, probably more so at herself than with her own family, because look at it from her perspective. I'm highly intelligent, overly qualified. I have so many degrees in psychology. Excuse me. She's very good at what she does. I dare say world renowned, if you will, because of how good she is at what she does. Yet, despite actually, hold it. It's home. Don't worry, it's not. There were storm passed through. Yeah. I was awake the whole time. I heard him come up and then he left. I was calling y'all to see if the storm stopped. The sun's out now, and that's it. Well, it's shining on one side of the house. Now it's cloudy. I think it's over. Where's she at? She's still asleep. I was going to see if she wanted to roll to Dollar General since it stopped storming and whatnot, but oh well. Yeah, well, now I'm glad I ain't cut the grass yesterday, because now we got this good rain. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, folks, we had a storm just pass through. It's been brewing all day. It rained for like a good 45 minutes. Power didn't go out, though. Everything's cool. All right. I feel like she does have a picture perfect illusion of her family, but as far as the cover up, I can understand her being upset about Martin. I do feel like she could have helped. Yeah, I mean, that's her son. That's her son. And I feel like she definitely thinks that her parents overstepped a boundary. I get that. I get that, because it's one thing to like keep something from her, but when it involves her child and like her parents played God, I can understand her being upset. I can. Um, and let's be real here. She's still hurting, rightfully so, from the affair. Like, it is iffy because, like, for example, Jacob mentioned how him and Smitty have been working together for weeks. So the passage of time isn't fully consistent in the show. What I mean by that is, while some episodes literally like take place one after the other, like the same day, there are lines of dialogue indicating that we're jumping weeks ahead. But regardless, think about how much Nicole has discovered in such a short amount of time. It's like before she can fully process one thing, something else pops up. I mean, like the whole Laura situation, if Leslie has something to do with that, and the list goes on. So it's just one of those things where I can feel for her, but she does need to dial it back a bit. And in some ways, I don't fully blame Nicole for having such a picture perfect illusion of her family, because up until this point, I don't think her parents gave her any reason to question if they have been doing dirty stuff behind the scenes. It's like Bill said, oh, the mighty Duprees, you get somebody else to get their hands dirty so you can stay clean. So while we could lash out at Nicole, just say, man, calm down. You're the one who's always, and I will admit, Nicole herself did say she felt bad for like the condescending, snooty way she treated Danny after her and Bill got that divorce. So she does have this like air of superiority about herself because she's a psychologist and because she was the golden child. It's like, Danny, look at you bringing shame onto the Dupree family. You should have picked a good one like I did. And then that's when she felt embarrassed, because turns out she didn't do any better than her sister. But in a lot of ways, I feel like she did. I feel bad. Oh, I feel for Nicole, but the less she knew is the better. She's going through a lot. They didn't need a lot of people knowing. She didn't need to be an accessory to the crime. Agreed. It's unknown if Martin would have found innocence. I keep saying the same thing. Even though these two were bigots and were meaning to do harm, given the fact that he's a political figure, given the fact that his grandfather, is like a legend in that realm, it's one of those things where even as Black people, if we're in the right and it is self-defense, white tears mean a lot more than Black facts. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, speaking of which, I think I just saw it trending something like Shannon Sharp, that situation he was in with that young white girl. That case has been dropped, but I believe there was like a 15 million settlement. I think I haven't looked at the full story, but I've been seeing the headlines trending. Look, let's be real. The Coldplay CEO thing has been taken over for the past 72 hours. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you know how it is, the court of public opinion above all. It's kind of like, whenever a high profile or celebrity couple breaks up or divorces, what's the first thing people assume? Did he cheat? He messed up, before even knowing the full story. She doesn't need to dial it back because the way she blues up is why people don't tell her things. True. I was just mad at the way she treated Andre and Danny about their secret love, when in actuality, I think that's what made me upset with Nicole the past couple of weeks. Like, her misplaced anger is like, if you're going to come at Danny and Andre like that, but not at Leslie or Ted or Eva, nah, you can miss me. Like, you're not going to come berate me and talk down to me and act like I hurt you. It's like, what about that little heifer over there that infiltrated your home and your job and your everything? Like, you were quicker to forgive her than, man, get it. You can miss me with that. You can miss me with that. But as far as Smitty goes, it is an interesting take because given how the family knows about his journalism, there's a certain level of ethics that, I feel like, and I'm not shipping these two whatsoever. When I'm talking about them together, I'm talking about their desire to uphold their morals and principles. I'm talking Jacob and Smitty. Like, they don't cross lines or do anything illegal. Of course, investigative journalism requires a person to do a lot of work, such as pulling bank statements and all that stuff. But it's not like Smitty. That's why I did a tangent in one of my episode reviews comparing Smitty and Jacob's dynamic to Kat and Jacob, where Jacob, he doesn't mind Kat, but Kat is just rude, bossy, and is giving, let's be real, Kat gives Jacob more grief than his partner or his superiors on the force. Like, she demands results right now, but it's like, first of all, Kat, I got other things to do. Not to mention, wait, Leslie and Eva weren't even in this week's batch of episodes, right? Wait, no, I don't think so. But wait, Ted better be careful. Carlton is coming for Nicole, or Nicole is coming for Carlton. That's all I'm saying. Yep. I know we don't have that many people aboard, but hey, we got dedicated fans, which is good. I know I should have scheduled this, but I like it when live streams are kind of impromptu because they feel more genuine. That was good because their storyline is dragging. Yeah. I'm glad how, we're almost 100 episodes in and we're really, really, I mean, like they say, it's always the quiet ones. Like, that's the first time I bet Nicole, clapped back at her mom, calling her a crime boss and all. This isn't her. It's like this, and it's like I did like that moment where Vanessa and Nicole were talking about stuff, like Nicole in regards to choking Leslie, and Vanessa's like, I guess we both had it with being, picture perfect and stuff like that. Well, I mean, Nicole's change up is, you could justified, if you will. Vanessa's just a hoe. I'm sorry. I love her, but she walking on the wild side and whatnot. It's like, whatever. Anita was shocked at how Nicole jumped up and got loud. Yeah, because she's never done that. She's never done that. because she's always been the picture perfect Dupree daughter, bringing nothing but glory to the Dupree name. But the thing is, now she knows her perspective of her parents is not what she thought it was. And like I said, Martin is her child. And I would feel some kind of way if my parents did something like that too. I can understand why her parents did what they did, but you cannot act like a parent wouldn't feel some kind of way if some massive decision that impacted their child was swept under the rug. And the fact that she has seen how damaged her son is, that's a mixture of a concerned psychologist and a concerned mother. So, yeah, I think she's fully justified. I see why her parents did what they did, but I can see why Nicole is, upset too. I wonder if Nicole will blow up at Vanessa when she finds out about her cheating habits. I think Nicole just has way too much going on, like Vanessa, she did try to warn about the Joey thing, but hey, Snow Bunny going to do what Snow Bunny going to do. And I like this show because there's so many complexities to it. Like, who was in the right? It's like, was anybody really right, or was anybody really wrong, or was everybody kind of neutral where you can see why they made certain decisions? Tech Bay. Let me just throw this out here as a guess. I know for me personally, and I'm only speaking from my experience. Feel free to chime in the chat. Also, we almost got 30 people watching. If y'all can hit the like button to help this video circulate, just hit the thumbs up button. I see y'all looking at it. Just take a moment and go tap, double tap. Well, not double tap, then you might unlike it. So yeah, hit the thumbs up button. Grew up in a 2-parent household. Not really close with my dad, to be completely honest. Never really felt like I could talk to him about anything. My mom, I was closer with her. But then it got to a point where it just felt like anytime I brought something up to her, it almost felt like she would just go, well, I went through it. Essentially, it felt like, hey, let me try to rephrase this carefully. It felt like anytime I tried to bring an issue or a concern up to her about something I was going through, well, that's nothing. I went through. It felt like I was being one up. What I was saying or what I was bringing to her wasn't recognized. It was more, it felt dismissive. Like, what's the point of talking to Ma if I'm not getting any real advice? If I'm only going to have to hear about her struggles, her pains, but nothing of value that would help me get through what I'm going through. And then, of course, growing up, if you tell your mom or one parent something, you might overhear them on the phone talking to one of their friends about it. It's like, okay, I think I was like early teens when I realized I can't really bring nothing to mom because either she's going to just act like it doesn't matter or just tell somebody. So I just stopped. Looking at Martin, his mom is a renowned psychologist. So he probably felt bringing anything to his mom would turn into like a lecture or her putting him on the couch. So he probably felt my mom is like, well, maybe, he probably felt his mom would just treat him as a patient as opposed to a son. That's what I'm thinking here. But also look at the fact that he idolized his grandfather. So I feel like from a young age, he probably felt he could relate more to Vernon than his own parents, And what's that saying? Like, whenever your parents tell you no, you go to your grandparents to tell you yes. So yeah, I feel like there's an aspect to that as well. And also, I don't know if this was mentioned in the show, but did Martin come out to his grandparents first or his parents first? That's a quick. I feel like that ought to clear up some speculation in regards to like who is Martin closer to, because I think that it would probably be very telling if he told like his grandfather before his parents about his sexuality. Thank you for your perspective. It makes sense. Hey, thank you for being here. Yeah. I went back to episode 72 to watch their initial conversation about his nightmares. Oh, you mean when he was talking with his mom? Because he was very careful not to reveal too much. And from a professional standpoint, oh, that's also another thing Nicole mentioned, like, I can't take you on as a patient. So I can definitely understand where Martin probably couldn't tell his mom much because I don't know, maybe she felt like I can't overstep boundaries, but it's like, but you're my mom. But then again, Martin did mention like he could feel his like inner psyche deteriorating. So rather than just like a mom pep talk or advice, he really needed psychological help. So, man. Oh, I see we got over 35 people. Hey, if you're joining in, thanks for joining in. And we're just talking beyond the gates, having a good time. If you're concerned about my main channel, all these are videos I recorded yesterday and what's today? Saturday? Yeah, Thursday and Friday I recorded all this stuff. And I got a few, just like 4 or 5 videos for this channel. Everything else is on the main channel, sisters content and whatnot. Because in terms of videos I'm posting over the weekend, the CEO cheating, that was funny. A video asking you all about manifestation. I'm a Christian, and I was just curious about manifestation because I see that word floating around a lot, especially over the past couple of years. And I just wondered, like, does it take the God out of the equation? Well, take God out of the equation. And then a video about Jermaine Dupri was on a podcast. I saw this reel when I was scrolling, and he mentioned how like he thinks New Edition is like the greatest group of all time. So I did a video about that. So those are fun videos coming over the weekend. So be on the lookout for that. Now, back to Beyond the Gates. I'm not looking forward to Naomi and Jacob seemingly having another fight about family over their professional careers, because it seems to me like Jacob is going to go after Martin the same way he went after, Danny, and now Naomi's going to be pissed. And I'm like, yeah, man can't. Yeah. AT, I said that in my video. I looked up the word manifest in terms of like definition, and I looked, and here's how I broke it down. Manifest, man, the letter I, and I'm like, yeah, you took God out of the equation. Like, nah, I'm good on that. Yeah, I believe I was talking about the Articulettes and comparing them to the Jacksons because they were getting on Anita's case for like the choreographer and the vocal coaches, and I'm like, what? What do you mean she's wrong and taking control? She's trying to make sure we all look good when you get back on that stage. And I compared that to the Jacksons in terms of like Mike was at the top of his game. Thriller, he was at the top of the world. He came down from Mount Olympus to help your broke selves on the Victory Tour. And at that point, I heard the Victory Tour was like just awful because of infighting about who should do management, how they should sell the tickets, how the record should be put together. Oh, hang on. Somebody's at the door. I think it's my dad. Oops. Sorry about that. Dad came by with some mail. Because I hate when sometimes the mail still sends stuff to my mom's address instead of here. But anyway, let me get back to these comments. Yeah, Anita was right to dub those. I get it. And I can't say I'm like disappointed in the Articulates not going on tour. It's just the fact I never really saw it happening. There's just way too much. God bless you. Thank you. What are you referring to exactly? Given that his mom is a psychiatrist, you think Martin would have sought help sooner? I wonder if he will now. I don't know. Maybe and I'm just throwing this out here. You know how Nicole, how fans are like, oh, Nicole had like this picture perfect way of seeing her parents, and now she's upset that her illusion has been shattered. I wonder if well, I don't know. I think Martin did say he never felt, I think one of the first times he and Eva spoke, he mentioned how his parents never pressured him into anything and he never felt intimidated by him. But I feel like in terms of on a personal level, maybe Martin felt he couldn't bring certain things to his mom because she's a psychiatrist. Maybe. But then again, he did come out to his parents, so it's iffy. I can see both sides. I mean, yeah, because Anita is like, you could argue she's doing this for herself to like relieve her conscience, but at the same time, Sharon and Tracy have way more to gain from this reunion tour than, well, no. They need it way more than Anita does. So to ride those coattails one more time would have been great. But no, they decided to mess it up. All right, but let's keep it going. Yeah, this week was really focused on the Martin. See, I'm glad we finally saw the flashback and whatnot. Yeah, and I thought Tracy, of all people, would be more understanding, but nah, she was on Sharon. So I'm like, man, no, I think what it is like they haven't had to work hard. They've been able to just graze by. Like, they were probably a couple of big fishes in small ponds once they went back to Chicago after Anita left the group. So it's like Sharon is like, yeah, I do vocal lessons and whatnot because I'm good. But they haven't had to push. They haven't had to like be amazing. But now it's like, and then what did Tracy does like clubs and whatnot. But the thing is, Anita's like, well, we're getting back on the big stage, ladies, and we got to make sure we're intact. And I'm not hiring a vocal coach just for me or just for y'all to say that, oh, my voice is great. We're all having to put in the work. So for them to not want to put in the work, get out of here. I want the writers to talk more about June's background. I really want to know. Oh, at this point, I mean, keep in mind, we're almost at episode 100, and we finally saw what happened the night 2 years ago. We will eventually find out June's background. It's just going to take some time. Do we think June's sister is connected to the current canvas of characters? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Well, we all had an idea what's happened 2 years ago. Oh, yeah. I mean, because like the sounds of the dun, dun, dun. I thought it was like a bell or something, but it was the sound of that freaking tire iron. And then I knew it was a car based on the light. So I liked how, we got some clues for it. I think, though, the biggest misstep was Martin doing that dang press conference. I think that was just dumb. I get what he was doing and why, but the thing is, Martin, this is way bigger than yourself and protecting your kids. You coming forward is going to put the spotlight on everybody involved with the cover up. That would have not been a good look whatsoever. Yeah, AT is, like I said before, it's a very iffy thing because of the fact that the victims were white, even though they were the aggressors. And it's just one of those things where I think I said earlier, I said white tears in the court of public opinion, white tears hold more weight than black facts, aka even if it was a hate crime towards black individuals and they acted in self-defense, if one or more of the survivors, put on some crocodile tears and whatnot, like they probably would have said, all we did was stop in the middle of the night because we saw these two gentlemen on the side of the road and all of a sudden they attacked us. Who do you think the people will believe? Let's be real. Mark not talking to Smitty before the press conference. Oh, yeah. That was another thing in terms of both Smitty and his mom. To find out from the internet and the news before Martin actually told him yourself. Yeah, that himself, yeah. I think on some level I get what Nicole was saying about, you didn't do all this to protect my son, you did it to prevent the pre-name from being tarnished or whatever. I feel like and I've been saying this in almost every episode review, I feel like there is some truth to that. Like, you got to think about Vernon's political career and his grandson following in his footsteps, and now his career will be curtailed by this scandal. And yet Vernon, with all of his connections, not to mention his own battles in the front lines against bigotry and whatnot, I don't think like his testimony would have been ignored, because like I said, he's a black man of wealth and resources, and we've seen firsthand that in the world of the wealthy, aka higher tax brackets, that gives you some weight. Like, don't get me wrong though, black people, even if you're rich, I mean, look at Cosby and Diddy and all that. Yeah, R. Kelly, like, if you got that, you got advantages someone with much lower income doesn't. But at the same time, there is a bit more leniency if you can buy your way out of a crime. Bill's not a top attorney. Are we talking about like if Bill represented them back in the day? Well, not back, 2 years ago versus now. Vernon could have used his influence to hire a top-notch attorney. I think they should have reported it. Well, I will say that one advantage Vernon and Martin would have had is the fact that what happened racist area. So that